Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw, Editorial Director at TigerFitness.com and Muscle and Brawn Nutrition CEO. This is hashtag AskBHUD, Big Hairy Ugly Dude. Guys, today's question is, I don't know if you can see that, from Instagram, from the Tanrer, Tanrer. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, but I pronounce everything incorrectly. And the question is about overhead pressing variations. It says, hey, Big Hairy Ugly Dude, what's your opinion on seated versus standing overhead press, assuming you have a strong core? What is my opinion? Well, I've tried both over the years. And first off, I prefer strict seated pressing, whether it's dumbbell or barbell. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do standing, but when the weight gets heavy, I prefer to have that strict pressing, a more strict form, a more stable platform. I've done seated front presses with 315-pound strict reps. I've done seated behind the neck press for 315 pounds of strict press. I've done seated dumbbell overhead presses, 120s for 5 reps. That's been the heaviest I've hit. I've also done standing variations. Now, you can do standing or seated, but in my opinion, when the weight gets heavy, if you're not training for some type of Olympic lifting, I prefer to have that stability just because we're in this for the long haul. I like the strict reps because the instability is going to put more stress on your shoulders. And if you're doing this for 10, 20, 30 years, personally, I prefer the strict form of seated pressing just because it's going to provide that extra stability and potentially less wear and tear on your shoulders over the course of 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've done mostly 95% seated pressing, never had a shoulder issue. That's not saying you should never do standing overhead presses. I like doing the standing dumbbell presses. I like doing the standing one arms. I like doing the alternating standing dumbbell presses. I like doing standing military presses and push presses. But at the end of the day, I always go back to seated. So do whatever you prefer. The standing presses are going to put more stress and strain on your core, so it will work your core indirectly. If you want to focus on standing presses, make sure you take some time to develop your core strength because that will help you with your press strength. So I hope I have answered your question. If you guys have any questions or comments for the Big Hairy Ugly Dude, check out all the information below. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can DM me on Instagram. You can hit up my Bearded Beast page on Facebook. On Instagram and Twitter, just hit me up with your question and add hashtag AskBHUD. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.